Calico, crazycapital. Come on. Hold up, I'm in here. Push weight, but no gym near. Crazy balls, no drinks here. Shorty wet, no swimwear. I had to get, I had to hustle. Cook it up with the fiends near. Mel had the extended clip. You don't see curve with the beam there. Michael Myers, me scream, yeah. My pen's my machete, killing whack rappers' dreams, yeah. Not just a scheme, yeah. I really lived that life, but I got bigger dreams. Yes. It is your boy Joe Calico. You're rocking with Calico's Cooling Conversations. This is Crazy Capital Media, and I want to thank everybody for rocking with us as always, man. You know, it's a special day. We're doing a special broadcast because you know we normally do this on Sundays, but we rocking out on Friday. You know what I mean? Try something different for the algorithm. You know what I mean? And today I definitely got a dope guest. I definitely got a dope artist that you know I'm gonna chop it up with. He go by the name of Nonsense, and you know we gonna chop it up with him. Nonsense, what's up?
What's up, boss? How are you?
What's going on? So no doubt. Thanks for pulling up. So where are you streaming from? Where you from?
So originally I'm from New Jersey. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, born and raised. But now I'm out in New York.
You in New York?
Yeah.
Okay. So you consider yourself a Jersey rap artist or a New York artist?
Definitely Jersey.
Okay, Jersey artist.
You know, I'm here in New York. I've been in New York for a little bit, but New Jersey is where my heart is. That's where I was born. That's where I was raised. So definitely a New Jersey artist.
Definitely. So you do hip hop.
Yes.
What kind of what segment genre in hip hop is it? Rap or R&B?
Yeah, I would say it's more so like jazzy hip hop with kind of like funk influence in terms of music that I like to do. Lyrical, some singing, some R&B elements to it. Not too much, but mostly like lyrical hip hop. I'm very 90s centric, so very much like Native Tongues type of alternative hip hop type sound.
All right, so definitely you keeping it with the bars. We keeping bars.
Yeah, bars is very important for me.
Substance.
That's where you know hip hop pretty much started. You know what I mean, with the words and the beats came kind of second nature, and you know they just amplified what you were saying. So I'm definitely all about the lyrics, definitely all about the bars.
All right, super dope. And you produce? You don't produce the tracks, you?
No, I used to a long time ago. When I put my hand into it, you know, realized that like that wasn't my forte. I wasn't terrible at it, but it wasn't like exactly what I was called to do. But so now I just leave that to the professionals, and you know, pretty much just do my thing over the beats.
Dope. So what got you into music in the first place, into creating?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, my mom was a performing and recording artist growing up. She sang in the church. My brother and my sister are also musically inclined as well. So it's just been in our household, listening to music, understanding and crafting lyrics. When I first started, I started with poetry. I love words. So putting words together to express like how you're feeling to me is something that was super dynamic and super just interesting for me to pursue. And then just listening to music and just wanting to emulate what I heard just pretty much sprungboarded me into becoming an artist myself. So music has always just been a part of my life and in my home specifically.
Oh, so dope. So I guess what age you recorded like the first track, like in the studio?
So interestingly enough, I've actually never recorded at one time. One time I've ever recorded anything in an actual studio. Everything else has been home recorded for myself.
Yeah.
But the first time I ever recorded anything was probably back in 2006, 2007, when I was still in high school, just computer mic with me and my boys. Just kind of like testing it out, testing the waters. Back then, MySpace was pretty huge.
MySpace.
So my friends, we would just record stuff and put it out in MySpace and just, get feedback and things like that. And I just kept with it. And so eventually just buying more and more equipment so that way I can record myself. But I've actually been like writing, like composing songs and things like
Yeah.
that ever since I was about 12 or 13.
So let's stick to the writing. Like, is it like a creative process? Like, ideas just come to you, or and you just start jotting it down, or you or you doing something like to inspire you? You know what I mean? Like, what's your
Yeah.
process to be inspired?
So it's interesting. I always say, the cop out answer, you get inspiration from anything, being outside,
Yeah.
talking to people. My inspiration comes from things I see, and more specifically, just being outside in a different space, right? I don't do too much sitting and writing. I always have to be moving. I also have to be in a place that kind of just gives me that energy, that creative energy. I remember when I first started writing, I used to write lyrics all the time and try to put them to songs. And I quickly saw that that wasn't the best way to do it, because there's intricacies in the beats and the instrumentals that actually tell
Yeah.
you kind of what to write and how to write it in terms of the cadence and the rhythm and the flow of that particular instrumental. So now what I do is I'll sit with an instrumental for a while and just listen to it and soak it in. And I would actually sometimes, especially in songs where I'm doing like more melodic things, I'll listen to it to get a melody and find a melody in it, and then put the words to that melody. And then pretty much everything flows after that. I'm a firm believer in stream of consciousness type of music. So whatever the beat tells me and whatever I feel like writing at that moment is how I write it. Now I'll go back and edit certain words here and there, but I think that like the initial feeling, the initial vibe of the song comes out in that writing. And so I generally speaking like go with that, unless something else comes a little bit later. But that's that's pretty much how I choose to write, is just being outside. One another thing that I love doing is writing on. I mean, I don't do too much of it anymore, but writing on public transportation. For some weird
Okay.
reason, like writing on trains is like super like relaxing to me.
I knew
Uh,
somebody like that. I knew
yeah,
somebody. He just rode on the bus. I was like, "Where you ride at?" He
looking
said,
out the
"Oh, the
window, and
back of
also
the bus."
seeing the people there too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just kind of like makes me just want to write even more.
But you ride to the beat. So if you on the train, you got the headphones in your ear, you
Yeah.
bopping like you you in the zone. You really right into it, or you like conscious or like these guys looking at me and
I like bop along to it. I don't really do it out loud. Sometimes I'll like kind of like mouth it and say it out loud and things like that. But one of the coolest things is just the juxtaposition between everything, right? Usually I was on my way to work. So
yeah,
it's like going to work to do the job that you get paid to do next to people who are also doing the same thing, right? But there was just something powerful about knowing that in my headphones something else was being cooked up and something else was happening and all these
yeah,
ideas flying through my head. And it was almost like the earbuds or the headphones kind of keep out the real world and then keep everything that like I'm thinking of kind of like here, while it's like stewing. So
nah, that's dope. That's super dope. That's super dope. And then you definitely made a point about writing on the beat, because I know a couple artists who really don't write on the beat. Like they could pull out a pad and then they just write. But then it's like they try to put it on beats, and I'm like, yeah, the bars is there, but I feel like you should have wrote to that beat in particular,
yeah.
because now you know what I mean. You cram in too much words, or it's too much dead space, whatever it is, because So
And it's almost like I love basketball. I love just comparing basketball to music. It's almost like somebody I see like writing without a beat, like practicing dribbling, right? So like there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with writing off the beat. Sometimes you gotta like get stuff out, get ideas out and things like that. But when you're in a game, what you practice sometimes doesn't fit with that, right?
yeah,
Like you have to think on your feet. And so that's what hearing the beat to me does. It allows me to think on my feet, because sometimes there's flows that I didn't even know I could do that
yeah,
maybe I've heard before that I kind of like augment or something like that, that like comes out of it just because I heard the beat. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. That makes sense. So you got projects out right now?
Yeah. I have a lot of projects out. But on streaming platforms specifically, there's about I think one. There's a compilation one was about that's four like some mini projects in one, and then two more. So there's about four or five like that you can listen to like on streaming platforms like Spotify or Apple Music. Um, and one of my biggest influences, I should have mentioned this before, in terms of inspirations, is space. Like I love space. Ever since I was a kid, I was
Like space,
entranced with outer space. Yeah,
outer space.
just space concepts to me, something so grand as, the universe kind of finds itself in the music, right? It's almost like the music is itself as a universe, and different planets or different songs that you create at different times of your life, and everything, time really doesn't exist in space, so time really doesn't exist, kind of like in music. So I inject that into my music as well. And so like a lot of my projects have space themes in them. Like for instance, my last project is called Star Stuff, and I called it Star Stuff after Carl Sagan's famous phrase, basically saying that we are made out of the same stuff that the sun and stars are made out of, right?
Yeah.
And just kind of keeping that idea of like being, you know, knowing that we're ordinary, right? We're one of billions of people on this earth, but we're still like special in our own right, right? And we're made out of the same stuff that we emulate in terms of the stars. So like stuff like that. So I got a lot of projects out that kind of talk about that and just talk about life. So
All right, definitely. I definitely gonna listen to your projects because you got me interested because I guess with the space theme and also the jazz funk because I didn't expect that answer from you. You know what I mean? With the so I'm like, all right, it's different, and and to make it in this game, you got to be different, right? Because a lot of music sounds the same. A lot of people copy trends. A lot
yep.
of like I hear a song and I think it's somebody else, and it's not because it's like you sound just like this other person, you
Yeah,
know?
it's like cookie cutter, and and the interesting thing is there's always this constant tension between wanting to be heard, right?
Yeah,
And then also wanting to stay authentic to your music. And especially in today's realm with social media, right? In terms of social media, actually, social media encourages you to be less original, right? In terms
yeah.
of like reels and TikToks, like they want you to recycle
Follow the
and
trend. Yeah,
different ideas and trends. And so there's this fear of like if I'm original and it's not a trend, then I kind of get lost in the fold. But something that my mom always told me is like, if you stay authentic, if you stay true and you keep to what you believe in, success is gonna follow, regardless. And so I always pride myself in trying to sound different and trying to be different. Picking different songs and picking different instrumentals and writing different, I wrote a song once about trees and talked about how trees kind of minister to me as I'm walking outside, telling me about what longevity is and the beauty of loss and gain, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's something that like is completely out there, but I think that like it's different, and so I think people really appreciate it for that.
That's super dope. That's yo. You got visuals too.
Yeah, so not too many. I have a couple of visuals online. I do a lot of so what I do on Instagram and social media is going back to basketball. It's almost like if you took a video of yourself dribbling really good or dunking and stuff like that, you're showing one particular skill. And so what I do on Instagram and stuff like that is I just spit, like just spit bars over like beats, that famous beats, old school beats, new school beats,
Okay.
just to like show like my skill. But I think where my music really shines specifically is in what I record for my projects, and then sometimes I'll like incorporate some visuals with that as well.
Yeah. That's that's dope. That's dope. So then what's the name of your latest project? That's the store stuff.
Star Stuff, yeah, Star
Store
Stuff.
stuff.
I have another one that I did kind of at the beginning. Actually, it was released it almost almost 2 years at this point. Social distance
During
for obvious
COVID.
reasons during COVID. And then I put out a project, it was a four-part project. Each part has about 4 or 5 songs on it. It's called Season, the Anthology. Talks about each one is about the seasons. And then before that is Escape Velocity. another space themed album. So
Definitely, definitely. And shows like you do shows too. You do live performances. You get busy.
yeah,
You got to shake it up in these streets.
yeah, definitely. That's act. So I would say that there's like three main like parts of being an artist that I think are just unmatched, and that's just being able to sit down and write and create. Um, there's the recording process as well, which is really fun. It's a performance that no one really sees you doing, so like you can do it as many times as you want.
Yeah.
So there's beauty in it, and then there's also performing on stage, which to me is just like unmatched. And so I've been performing ever since I was young, in church, like on stage and things like that. And then as I got older, did the whole circuit in New York City, pay for play shows,
Yeah.
SOBs, different showcases, and things like that. And now what I'm focusing on is polishing more live sound. So I've been working with instrumentalists, bassists, guitarists, keyboardists, drummers, trying to find some vocalists to kind of expand my sound. And so I've been doing shows even during the pandemic, sparingly, doing shows over in Jersey. And I'm looking to do some shows here in the summer as well, with this live band.
Okay. And that'd be different too. That'd be dope. Live band. You'll definitely catch somebody's attention, right? If they're sitting in
Mhm.
the venue and then the live band start playing. It's like, okay, what's going on over there?
And that's
That,
the thing too. It's like I think live music kind of translates a little bit better, especially to folks who aren't necessarily hip hop fans, right?
yeah.
I think the live musical element kind of like welcomes folks in, and I think that could be true of any type of sound. I once saw Roddy Rich. Apparently, he's like really like musically inclined. I saw him do like a performance in which he did some of his, more trappier sounding songs, like with live instrumentation that completely changed the mood and the vibe of it. And I think that was
Yeah.
more digestible for folks who didn't necessarily like that type of music. So I think doing a live sound is beneficial for me as an artist, and also it causes you to there's rapping on a beat in a timed fashion in a set 3 minutes and 35 second song, right? But then if you can take that song and extend it, add different parts to it, let the instruments kind of breathe on the track with
Yeah.
it just creates this whole another experience. So,
Give the drummer a solo or the
yep.
guitarist if he's super nice, the
And
guitar guy.
the drummer I work with, he's dirty.
So yeah,
Yeah.
do your thing real quick right there.
Hmm.
Now I respect it. So that now I know. So you consider being a independent musician, being an entrepreneur, though, right? You definitely.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely do. One thing that's hard for artists to do, and it's still something I struggle with too, is realizing that like I'm also an entrepreneur and also a businessman.
Yeah.
This is a business, done shows and not too many, but I've done shows and gotten paid for it. Actually, the one time that I figured out that I was a business is the first time I got paid for a show that I didn't have to perform in because it got canceled. And
Crazy.
so, I realized that people realize that my talents are something that can be monetized. And I think that that's the biggest struggle for artists is to make that separation, right? Is to know how to promote yourself. I'm guilty of this too, creating something that I think is the best piece of art ever and putting it out in the world, but in a way that's not strategic, in a
Yeah.
way that doesn't really pay attention to like rolling it out, and you do have to ride certain waves and certain trends and things like that. So I would consider myself an entrepreneur. I would also tell anyone that I'm learning and I'm still growing in that field, and trying to get as much information and tips as I can to further push my brand.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Cause with a lot of artists, they're very talented, but there's that other side you need. It's like, all right, that's one side of it, the talent, the lyrics. You got the best voice in the world. You can sing, but that business side is like equally or even more important than than the talent. So, and then it gets lost. So it's hard to wear many hats, and and I see a lot of people who do make it. They figure out how to put the right team around them. You know, somebody to deal with all of that. I mean, you still gotta double check. You know, you still gotta double check as an artist, so you're not lost in the source. But you know, it's really about creating a super dope team that could,
Yeah.
you know, somebody handle the booking, somebody do this, somebody do that, and then you could just really focus on the art and creating, and you know,
And to me that's the paradox of it all, right?
yeah,
We as artists, we want to do everything, especially because we see some of these rappers, Chance the Rapper and all that stuff,
they
like, and
brag about it,
put, yeah, exactly.
but
And
but they have a
yeah,
team though. But
yeah, they have a team.
they
They
definitely
have
have
a
a
team.
15, 20, maybe 30-man team.
And so and you're right, and that's the key, being able to focus on the craft and focus on the art, and let other people focus on the other stuff, right?
Yeah,
Because there are people who have certain eyes for certain things,
yeah,
and actually, believe it or not, I'm not sure if you've seen the Kanye West documentary Genius,
I need
but
to see it.
it's really good. But in that documentary, you see the many hats that Kanye West wore.
Yeah,
But it's funny, as time continued and progressed. I mean, yeah, he had a team, he had people, but Kanye West wore a lot of different hats. And as time progressed, you can see it weighing. You can see it weighing on someone, right? And
yeah,
so constantly thinking about this, that, and the third is just, it's a lot. And so you need people who who treat their craft like you treat your craft,
yeah,
right? And that you guys can grow together.
yeah. That's a good, yeah, because that's their craft.
Mhm.
You gotta find the people who love this and this is what they really want to do, and you know, so that's key. Yeah, that's key. Then that's gems for the viewers. You know, the content creators that's gonna watch this video, the replay, or who's in the live right now, because as content creators, we are content creators. It's definitely a lot of people choose this route thinking it's the easy way out when it's actually the other way around, because with a 9 to 5 you actually get to go to work, clock in, you get to clock out, your paycheck is going to be there every single week, and when you get to clock out, when you clock out, you don't have to think nothing about this job. It's like, I see you tomorrow. If it's a weekend, see you guys Monday. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
the energy got put into this, the constant thinking, the waking up in your sleep, you know what I mean? Going to bed, like it goes past 5. You on the clock
All the
24/7.
time.
Yeah, I could be at a little something for my daughter, maybe like one of her little ballet situations or school plays or whatever. Then it's like it's still something in my like, oh, did I send that email? Did I, you know what I mean? Like I'm always, there's no off for it. So it's definitely takes like a certain type of grind to really, you know what I mean, proceed, like to go far in this.
And it's funny, Wale, he has this album called The Curse of the Gifted, and the premise of it is just like, as talented as someone can be, there's always this voice in the back of the head that's talking about and having them think about the next thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so at times it's a burden, right? It's a burden to like be a content creator and always want to put something out into the world. And sometimes, like you said, I just had a baby girl. She's three months old, and
congrats.
she's the most, thank you so much. She's the most important thing in my life. And you know, there are times when like I'm literally holding her, thinking of a rap lyric, right? Thinking
Yeah,
of hearing a beat in my head, and it's hard sometimes to kind of take that step back. But like you said, this being a content creator, not even like putting out content. That's the interesting thing. Putting out content is easy.
yeah,
The hardest part is creating it, stockpiling it, thinking about when you're going to put it out, trying to find the right time, trying to find the right platform. It's a whole thing that goes into it. It gets exhausting at times, but I think that, the if anything in life that calls you back is something worth doing, right? There's been
yeah,
times when I've never wanted to quit music, but there's been times when I was like, all right, let me take a bit of a break. And I'll take a break and literally not think or not write or do anything. And then it happens. I've been at concerts.
something brings
I've
it
been at
back.
concerts listening to music and just thinking to myself, oh, how would I do this? How would I do this? I would do this on this performance, Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's a burden, but it's just,
Yeah,
it's the curse of the gifted, honestly. It's
nah, I mean, you just gotta keep going. Like I said, success is right around the corner. Everybody's one hit away, one piece of content away, and it's like if you stop, you 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 stop the whole dream. So you just
Yep.
gotta keep going.
It's just like a roller coaster, right? You keep going up, 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 and the moment that you feel like I don't even know when this thing's gonna go over, that could be that moment, and you just let it go right back down, right? Like,
Yeah,
and you just got to keep fighting, like you said,
you
keep
gotta
keep
keep going.
doing it, and I think it's important though. That's why to me mental health has been something that's been very important to me, especially over the last couple of years with meditating and things like that. Is just being clear and being aware of what everything is, and not using other people as a benchmark to my success, right?
Yeah,
And not just looking at what other people are doing and thinking to myself like, oh, why can't I get there? Why can't I be this? And it just puts everything in perspective.
yeah, and success is different for everybody too, right?
Yeah.
Like I tell even the kids I speak to, I told them you just gotta be realistic, and if you keep everything realistic, it's like success. But everybody is a different level. Now, if you want to be like on the next level, that's different. But just think about like what's that number? What's that thing that's gonna make you good to wake up every single day? And we talking no $1 trillion, just that regular. You can live a regular life and you good every single day, you
Mhm.
know. And
It's
then yeah,
being honest with yourself
just
and
being
and
honest. Yep.
and not falling victim to over glamorization of different things. I mean, man, social media. Like I was looking at something the other day, it's talking about like the lies that people tell on social media, and there's a social media influencer who bought this backdrop that looked exactly like a private plane.
Yeah.
The person was sitting there taking pictures and just creating this lifestyle that other people emulate and other people try to achieve, but they don't realize that, like you said, success is around the corner. Anytime that anything gets better, that's a success. And as you start building up on that, you get into the habit of success,
Yeah.
and you start seeking out successes wherever you can find them.
Definitely. Definitely. So nah, super dope, super dope. So you got all the music is on all the streaming platforms.
All the streaming platforms. You look up nonsense, and usually you look up nonsense. You're gonna look up nonsense star stuff, nonsense escape velocity with an X, like instead
Okay.
of escape with an E, just with the X. If you look up nonsense, spring breeze, or summer life, if you look up any of that stuff with the titles, you'll be able to find it. And anybody can find me at nonsense hip hop. I always think that that's very important in terms of like that's another thing that a lot of hip hop artists specifically don't really catch up on is you have to make yourself findable,
Yeah.
and you can't just be using these handles with like underscores and numbers and things like that.
Yeah.
Be clear cut. So mine's is nonsense, and I do hip hop, so nonsense hip hop. Then that's mine.
Definitely, definitely super dope. And before we get out of here, I'm actually one more question, but I'm gonna do
Yeah.
my quick plug right now. I need everybody to like, comment, subscribe this video right now because that's how we able to share it out, get more viewers, get more likes, more comments, and I can really do my thing. And it starts with you guys. And I'm also on Instagram at crazycapital media. Come check us out. Come check out the other shows. This is Calico's Cooling Conversations, but we got the Kicking It With Fresh. I got the Raise the Boss Cypher show. I don't know if you do the ciphers and the rapping. I got that show going on. You know what I mean? Raise the Bars.
Definitely down for that.
Yeah, we got the Rooftop Cypher. Part
Okay.
two going down this summer. Part one is on YouTube right now. Super good, super good. Um, July 17th, guys, I'm doing a pop-up shop slash performance, pop-up and perform. It's in Brooklyn. Please DM me on Instagram if anybody's interested. And yeah, and you get everybody your Instagram? I think you
Yeah.
said that's at Nonsense Hip Hop.
At nonsense hip hop. Yep.
I'm definitely gonna put the Instagram and so I guess some links to your music, everything in the description of this video. And then yeah, that's that. Before we
Awesome.
get out of here, I'm gonna just ask you to leave us with one word that just describes nonsense hip hop, the artist, the musician, the brand. Just leave my people's one word You know, I ask everybody this question I'm always interested in the one word that they use.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So mine is a word that probably over the last 7 to 8 years has just been one of the most influential words to me because it's so simple, but yet it has so much power, and that's vibes. Vibes. And it's something that like you can't debate. You know, you go out somewhere, you want to be mad, but you hear a beat, you start tapping your feet, nodding your head, starting agreeing with the lyrics. Like that's what a vibe is. A vibration is something that, you know, resonates with you. When you hear it, you feel it, right?
Yeah.
And so like that's something I always like aspire to in terms of my music. I always aspire to like just create vibes for folks to listen to and connect with. So vibes.
I like that. So, yo, Nonsense, definitely thanks for rocking with us, you know.
Thank you so much.
Keep you here all day. Definitely, your next project, anything you're doing, you want to promote anything, just pull up, you know what I mean? You part of the Crazy Capital Media family now. Just pull up, come rock with the show, and then we do it like that.
And I definitely will be in contact with you about, I mean, I don't know if you have the Rooftop Cypher already like
no.
at the roster, but I'll be in contact with you for that and the pop-up because I'm always down to spread love.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we working, so link me. And you guys, you already know I'm out of here. I gotta play my outro, and I'm out of here. Peace. Yeah, Calico, Crazy Capital. Come on. Hold up, I'm in here. Push weight, but no gym gear. Crazy bars, no drinks here. Shorty wet, no swimwear. I had to hustle.